Hey there everyone, we'll be starting in a few minutes. If you haven't already, please make sure you have either downloaded a PDF of the workbook or have one in front of you if you're a pen and paper kind of person. These workbooks are now yours, so feel free to doodle as much or as little as you like. So long as you can read what you've written, you're good to go. We'll get started in a little while. Hey everyone and welcome. Welcome to Right at School live training. If you're new with us, we are so excited about the journey you're starting, and we are grateful that you have chosen to continue or even start your career in education at Right at School. And if you're returning, thank you. Thank you for saying yes to our kids again. You may have noticed a couple of changes to the way that we do our live training, but one thing never changes: our commitment to joy and safety. My name is Andrew and I'm part of the training team here at Right at School, and my sole responsibility is to ensure that our programs are the best in the country. But to do that, I need your help. You see, our programs will only be the best if our students are safe and kept engaged in meaningful activities. The next several hours are for you to feel comfortable with everything Right Club. If you also get to do before school, almost everything you'll learn today is transferable. So let's get started. Let's quickly talk about these workbooks. If you do not have a paper copy in front of you, or if you prefer to make notes on your phone, go ahead and scan the QR code right here, and we'll take you to the place that you can download the workbook PDF. You'll be using these a lot for the next few days of training, so keep them with you. They are yours, and you are free to doodle as much as you see fit, so long as you can read any notes that you took and treat them like training materials. Here are the meeting norms that we use at Right at School. Be fully present and participate verbally and non-verbally. Respect, encourage and support your peers. Assume best intentions when people are speaking, and if you feel like you're talking too much, let someone else share. If you feel like you're not talking enough, be brave, be vulnerable. You may provide the insight that everyone is looking for. Actively seek to understand other people's opinions and perspectives. We need and value everyone's thoughts. If at any point you have questions, feel free to write them down and ask them at the end of the session. Here's what we're going to cover before the rest of our staff arrive. We'll cover our mission and why it matters to us so much. We'll talk about who we are as a company and as a supporter of our schools and parents and kids. And we'll go through updating the daily attendance roster before the rest of our staff arrive. This is our mission, to inspire a love of learning, support schools, and give parents peace of mind. Everything you've learned and will learn always comes back to this, to inspire a love of learning, support schools, and give parents peace of mind. So let's think about that for ourselves. Using your workbooks, write down how we can inspire a love of learning for our students. Who are the people in our schools that we partner with so closely? And what does parent peace of mind look like to you? We'll spend 2 minutes right now thinking about these things for ourselves. Don't worry, there'll be plenty of time for group discussion later, but right now, this is for you. Answer in your own words. You have 2 minutes starting now. Okay, when educators arrive, we'll revisit some of these ideas, so keep them handy. Next, we'll talk about who we are in relation to our stakeholders being students, parents, and the schools that we work in. For a student, we are masters of disguised learning. That means we make learning fun, we make it hands-on, and that's why we have a curriculum team whose sole job is to keep providing our programs with activities kids love to do time and time again, but also where they learn new skills. We know that students will only try new things if they feel safe in our programs. So we'll always make sure that our programs and activities are safe, engaging, and meaningful. From the annual Right Club Variety Show to the Right Club Gives Back, where we bless the local community, all the way to transitions to the bathroom, we greatly care about what's safe, what's engaging, and what's meaningful. Then, we also aim to be the most positive place a child experiences that day. In fact, forget that, a year. Did you know that we spend about 971 hours with our students a year? And we're not going to waste those 971 hours with kids sitting around bored out of their minds. We're going to make sure that those 971 hours are the most positive, are the most safe, are the most engaging, and the most meaningful hours a child could spend in a year. Let's move on to our school partners. Look down at that list of the people that you wrote that work in our school buildings. We have teachers, principals, janitors, who, by the way, are our best friends. We have school social workers. We have the nurse. We have the librarians. All of these people are our partners. We are a part of their community, and we care about their families as much as they do. Close your eyes and think about the last house party you went to. When you walked in the door, what was the first thing that you did? Did you A, walk over to the table where the food is at and critique the way the snacks were displayed? Or did you B, look down at people's feet to see if they were wearing shoes or not? I'm hoping you did B, because being A, you probably ensured that you were never invited to any more house parties, and B, meant that you had to check what was appropriate before you did anything else. You had to change something about you so that your host would feel respected by you, i.e. take off your shoes or keep them on. That's how we are at Right at School. We consider ourselves guests. We'll support them any way we can, so they feel respected by us, and so that we can build a partnership built on trust and be as committed as they are to the learning achievements and well-being of their students. And lastly, our families. Families should not only have peace of mind knowing that their kids are engaged in a safe program, but that we are advocating for their kids. When we advocate for a child, we're saying that we want them to succeed in everything they do at Right at School, and we won't rest until that happens. We also know that we are either the beginning or end of a parent's workday, so we will ensure that it's a positive experience, because positivity is contagious. And perhaps most importantly, we know that we are the connection between our families and our school partners. So we'll be cognizant of what we say and when we say it, so that both the school and our families feel supported. Now it's your time to share. In groups of about 3 to 6, go around and tell us your name, how long you've worked with kids, and where, what questions you have that you want answered from today's training, and talk about something positive that has happened to you recently. Because we are all about the positive here. You'll have 5 minutes to do this, and if you are done early, create a list of things that you have in common as a group. Off you go. Welcome back. Now that we've got to know each other a little, it's time for us to put our program manager hats on and answer this question here. What could my day look like? This is an example schedule. It's an example because each school has different needs. For instance, Fred, the principal at the school I program managed for a couple of years, and I moved right moves to the top of the list after attendance because it was important for him that the kids got to run around after a long day at school. However, if you do have the ability to keep to this schedule, we found this to be the magic formula. The giant arrow is pointing to prep, which is divided into two sections, program manager arrival and all staff arrival. Before your staff arrive, let's go through the expectations for program manager arrival. In this time, 30 minutes before program starts, safety forms must be printed out and placed on clipboards for everybody. As a program manager, we should be certain of which students are enrolled for that specific day. And first aid bags should be stocked and walkie-talkies and tech should be charged so that everyone has everything they need and can be in contact with everyone else. Here's how Cheyenne does it. When everyone knows which students are going to be present, staff know who they will be responsible for that specific day. Here is a list of all the things each clipboard should contain. The only additional items the program manager should have is the internal roster because it contains sensitive information and one copy is enough, and the daily attendance roster. You should only ever have one copy for that program to eliminate any confusion, and because families can enroll their child up to 2 hours before program starts, only those printed out when the PM arrives will be up to date. Keep this list handy so that you always know who needs a copy of what. Now we'll practice updating the attendance roster, which we'll pull from Jambula, our family portal. You'll get full training on this when you do your leadership training. Turning to the example in your workbook, let's go through this together. Remember, this attendance roster will directly affect the name to face for your program and therefore should be accurate. Here we go. The front office tells you Melody Campbell is absent today and Freya Diaz went home sick. Where would you note that? And how do you note that? A dad tells you he needs to drop in his son, Everett Walker, so you confirm the space is available and that you have all the information you need for him, such as medication, allergies, authorized pickups. Once you've responded to the parent to give the all clear for Evan to be dropped in, you'll also want to send a quick email to our customer service team with the student's name, the date for the drop-in, and put drop-in as the subject line to info@rightatschool.com so that they can add that to the family's account. But where do we add Everett's name? Then we come across a parent email that says Dean Carno went to a doctor's appointment and won't be coming back to the school. So how do we note that? Here's what it should look like. Okay, we now know who should be in our program, so this is a perfect opportunity for us to take a break and for us to welcome our educators. For the next few hours, my hope is that you'll grow together as a team, you'll find common ground, and you, as a leader, will not only lead by example, but bring out their best. Let's take a break as our educators arrive.